This episode is proudly sponsored by KPI Construction Services. When it comes to construction sites, reliability and efficiency are key. That's where KPI Construction Services shines. With a single call, KPI provides a range of essential services, which includes labour hire, crane hire, and traffic control. KPI is a progressive business with modern plant and equipment across all of their operating states. Focusing on innovation and to avoid the business drifting is always front of mind. We are proud to be aligned with and have such a reputable company partnering with the show. Aces, I know I always go on about the RIXXs, but I got huge news. We have all our styles and colours restocked on the website right now. Get online, grab some sunglasses at rixxeyewear.com.au right now and use our little discount code ACES if you want a 20% discount code on the house. Hey guys, just wanted to let you know that we're going to be dedicating this podcast to Cam McCarthy, to the whole McCarthy family, to each and every one of you. I just want to let you know that everyone here from American Aces are thinking of you. You're in all of our prayers and just sending all our love to the whole family. Cam was a great guy, a guy in the locker room that I certainly gravitated to. We were very lucky to spend so much time together, not enough. But Cam was the kind of guy that made you smile. He would walk into a room and everyone would just run straight at him and give him a hug. He was so loving. He was so good to be around. And yeah, you're going to be missed, brother, and I just can't believe you're gone. So look, rest easy. And like I said, this one's for you. Welcome back, everyone. Another cracking episode of Aces Premiership Countdown. Plenty to talk about, plenty of footy. The weekend I was away, I had a wedding in Bali. Obviously, we knew that, but I felt like I missed a lot of great football. I missed another draw. I missed Adzi Treloar's goal of the year. We'll talk about that in a second. My team, the Giants, getting smoked. Well, not smoked, but Essendon just showing us that they're a real contender. I think you're at the game. We'll get into that. And just a lot of great performances from individuals. So, mate, there's plenty to talk about. But before we get into the footy, how are you?
I'm good, mate. Pretty cruisy weekend. Had Mother's Day, so I spent a bit of family time on Sunday. As you said, I went to the footy on Saturday. I don't think I've been to a Bombers game well over, since I played there. So it was good. It was a really good performance by the boys. And as you said, some cracking games. Even around the first one on Thursday night, the D's going down by a point was a cracker. What a comeback. They were 38 points down.
I was packing my bags because I had to leave. I think my flight was first thing out in the morning for Friday. Mate, I gave up on the game. It was like, it's wet. It's a bit of a flogging. So I just packing my bags. And then, mate, I reckon I'm just about to seal me luggage, and I look up, it's 13 points, and then I'm like, oh my God, there's actually plenty of time left. They're down by a point. If they had lost that, Carlton, there would have been a lot of criticism.
Oh, and there's some questionable stuff happened late, so it could have went either way.
5-day break the D, so I thought they'd get. You remember you mentioned it. That's why I tipped the Blues just purely because of that. I'm like, I reckon they'll get run over. It was the other way around.
Yeah, they come back late. They're a strong team, and it was a great game to watch, especially late when they were coming. It would have been one of the great comebacks, and even Friday night, Port versus Geelong, only a kick in that. It's a great weekend of footy. But mate, Bali, you've been gone for a few days. Have you been to Bali much? I love the place. You haven't been?
I've been when I was a kid, and then last time was when I was like 19 or 18. It's been like 11 years since I've been, and it was. At Canggu and Perinan or wherever I was. Sessa Beach was where the wedding was. So it was like, I've only ever been at Kuta and Legion when I was there. Years ago. Yeah, so it's a complete eye-opener.
It's drifted out from the old Kuta days now. Seminyak was the thing. Now it's drifted out to Canggu, but there's so much to do. It's a great time. I'm sure. Was the weather all right?
Elite.
Yeah.
Elite. It's just so warm and, I don't know, you feel so good every day. Well, I didn't get any hangovers. I would have had 1,000 bintang. How good's it?
You wake up and just have a beer.
Bintang. I was saying, do you ever drink bintang down here? Have you ever had a bintang in Melbourne?
I wouldn't know where they sell them.
Apparently they're around about $54 a slab is, what my mate said. Because I asked the boys, I said, is bintang around in Melbourne? It's goes down pretty well.
Yeah, it's a great drop over there, but it helps because of the weather. Like any beer is good when it's that warm.
Yeah, it's
but
so
what a breakup from the cold weather we've been getting here, and you're just waking up in the nice sunny, warm weather over there. I was jealous, mate. So good weekend.
Yeah, great weekend. And Jacinta and Tate, who got married, congratulations again. It was an awesome wedding. They did it perfectly. Quick ceremony. Like they got it was one of those ones where they just wanted to spend time and party together and whatnot. So
they're the best.
It was like a 10 to 15 minute ceremony, plenty of funny gags and whatnot, and then straight down to the beach for cocktail hour, and then into the reception. And my mate, Cohen, and my business partner, he emceed, and he's a quiet lad, but he was on fire. Set the tone. He's like, we're not here to, if you don't know someone, we'll get up now. We're going to do 60 seconds goal to someone you don't know. And the tone was set from the start, and it was just a great wedding. And obviously destination weddings, everyone stayed over. Like I was probably one of the quickest to come home. I was only there Friday to Monday. Everyone else was there for the week. So it was just, mate, elite. And, that wedding I'd imagine was pretty expensive, but just in general, very cheap and quality everywhere, Even the food, I couldn't believe the food and coffee, how good it was.
Yeah, you go to some of those places, it's like you're going to a restaurant or cafe in Melbourne these days. They do the poached eggs and with avocado on toast. Like, you don't think of Bali like that, but it's very modern these days, and I love going there.
And
mate,
what
so
it's like,
jealous.
the hire the scooter and $10 a day. I'm like,
you just hum around.
Mate, you're humming around
They're dangerous though, those scooters.
Yeah, a little bit dangerous after Atlas in the pool for 10 hours, but it was, mate, I just couldn't believe. I don't know. I actually really enjoy riding those scooters around. It's pretty cool. Like when you go to
get the fresh air,
a bit of fresh air, and when you go to when I was a kid, we did like the cenote tours and whatnot in Thailand. And, you get to go 4-wheel driving or whatever. It's part of the package, and you're paying a bit more. $10 a day just to cruise around and see sights. Unreal.
Yeah, it's good.
Anyway, so
glad you had a good weekend, mate.
Yeah, well, mate, we'll have to do maybe a live show over there. I was actually watching the footy at some dodgy AFL bar. They had the footy on and it was freezing a little bit, there's a lot of Aussies over there. So I reckon we get a couple of APC fans there. I ran into a couple of boys at Luigi's, I think.
Oh,
got
Luigi's
around
in Chango,
get around the pods. So say g'day, boys. So it was good. It was good.
Good to hear.
Well, let's get into it. Well, there's a few key points from last week. We'll get into our best bets. Both of us have probably tipped 7s of 6 this week, and the 2 we didn't get were our best. We're at that out. But mate, I've gone to Bali, like we just spoke about, and I've come back and our man, the nut, has gone bananas. He's kicked 4 snags and then he's eaten 4 at the VFL the next day. That's what I saw online. Our man Armsy's on fire.
Yeah, AFL posting just said after kicking 4, he's eaten 4 at the VFL the next day. I loved it.
And you can get away with that. Like you hadn't got to kick the night before and you're eating sausages. Everyone's going, oh, this bloke's this guy's kidding himself.
He's going well the nut. It's good because he loves a snag. Well, kicking one, and probably looks like he loves eating them too. But he loves a goal, and it took him a while to get the monkey off the back. But he kicked 3 1/4, and he's ended up with 4 and 27. Anyone could have been best on in that game, and unfortunately Richmond went up to it and they dominated. But good to see him up and about. He's messaged us. He's a fan of the pod.
He's probably our number 1 fan, to be honest. We've said that to him, and well, we could probably release it now. We're going to do it in the tipping in a second, but he's committed to a jersey.
Yes, he's given us a signed jersey.
I mean, we've got a few commitments, but we've got it in writing. Our first is the nut. I mean, they probably wanted Maxi Gorn or, Jezza Cameron, but the nut's coming off 4 sausages. He's going to be our first jersey that was going to give away in the tipping leaderboard.
Yeah, we've got a few in pencil, nothing in pen, and Harness's penned it in, signed and sealed. So, well done, Nut. Great weekend.
Nut, keep it up, mate. Keep eating those snags on game day and, recovery day because they're working. The Bombers, like we spoke about, they are flying, and so is Nick Martin. He is very impressive. You sent me a clip of him doing some, it was like, what would you call that? That's something I'd expect from an Irish player.
It's like the Gaelic pickup where they just soccer it up off the ground. That was...
How's the instinct to do that in a little tight, confined space at speed?
I'd love to, he meant it, right? Because I'm like, who would think to do that when you can just bend over and do what you've done your whole life and just pick it up with 2 hands? I can't do that with a round ball, with our ball. So unbelievable skill, and to full pace he was going, and he ran off with it. It was, he had a cracking game. They started off slow. I was a bit worried for them because we know we're big raps on GWS, you especially, but I thought they were going to run away with it. But they're playing some commanding football at the moment, and they're the real deal. They're in the top 4.
3rd now on the ladder. And
it's good for the comp when the Bombers are up and going because they're such a big club. The fans are mad, they're passionate. But it was good for them to get a win against a good team.
I've been big on the Bombers, and I reckon I've been isolated. Because we do so much talking shit and podcasts, it's all recorded. I'd love to go back and just every week me just saying they'll play finals, they'll win a final, because I want them to win a final so bad. Yep. Just for all the naysayers that continually put up the posts, you know what it's like, another year since they've won. But they are, and I always put it to the coach. Like, he's the real deal as well. It is when you've got a coach like him, you're going to play finals and you're going to play the right brand, and they're playing the right brand as it looks right now.
I'll tell you, the best decision they made was getting Mackay. He has been probably the recruit of the year. He just steadies them up. They were screaming out for a big key back. He's a huge key back. He can play on the number one forward. Like, Hogues looked dangerous, but it was always just those hit-ups where you can't really stop him. The rest, he was intercept marking. You know, he's a strong defender and really good for the balance in the back line, and he's been a massive pickup for him.
All-Australian fullback right now?
Oh, I don't want to say yes. He'd be in the squad, I'd say, but, you know, there's so many good ones out there. I reckon. I'm not sure.
I'll put you under the thumb a little.
I'm trying to think. Maisie's had a really good year. Wiedering's missed a few games, but like, we know how good he can be if he stays fit. And you can't have all three of them in the team. So, right now, I'd probably have Maisie, but definitely up there. If they keep going the way they're going, it's hard not to have him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well said. And a few other notes I've got here as well. I've got a little spy on the inside down at the Colts where you play football. And
there we go.
Let me know if my spy has been accurate and honest. He believes that you got fined for the All-Australian bag and were presented with a Colts bag. Is there any truth to the story?
It was true. Yeah. Who is this spy?
I've told my spy you will not be named and continually feed the train.
I know a few of the Colts boys listening in on this. So
there you go.
I think when it got mentioned and there was a play on or out of bounds, that maybe that's probably after what it stemmed from. But yeah, I did. They fined me for the bag. I think it was $5 a week, so I took it for 4 weeks, so I owe them $20, and they presented me with a Port Colts bag after I said on the pod that they don't have them, so they have them.
Oh wow!
And now I got a bag, a free bag out of it. You know what? $20, that bag's probably worth $60. I'm net 40 profit.
You're playing with this joint, aren't you? You're playing with the Colts plugs. There you go. Well, let's get straight into our tips. It was another great week on the tips front, and it's kind of tight here. So if you're in our Oz American Aces tipping competition, it's very tight and anyone can win this. It's a bit like the AFL. It's a very tight top 8, but we have a clubhouse leader, and I love shouting out our leaders, and it's our man Joshy Lock and Caitlin _ So we've got Joshy and Caitlin. Joshy has been on fire. He's been up there every week on 59, and there's a lot of people not far behind. I'm on 53, Pig.
I'm 52.
I had a real bad start to the year, so I'm 6 behind the leader, which is not too bad. I just need to pull out a couple of fluky ones, but it's just my individual teams that I support are probably hurting me a little bit, and I'd say the Dogs and Geelong, I've probably been a bit wayward with both of them. Geelong have been unreal this year, and I've tipped against them a few times, and again on the weekend I tipped them and they got done by Port, which was a bit of a shock.
Need to start tipping. I've just looked, I'm 7 behind. Like, that's a lot.
It's not too bad. You just need to have one real unique week, and if you go 3 the other way, you're right in the mix. A couple of people choke. You know what? Some people choke when like our man Joshy Lock might get a bit.
Lock's been solid every week.
He's been solid, but he might get nervous in the crunch time. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we progress. Our punters club review hurts me. I've got that on the run sheet. I wanted to delete it. Now, just so you know, I protected it. So I was heading to Bali. I could have got on Canva, but my flight was delayed. I was in the air for an extra 2 hours, which meant that your first leg and mine wouldn't have made it. And even though they got up, that we won't talk about maybe what would have happened. So we just had this healthy scratch. Healthy scratch for both of us. So we leaned into our best bets. Toby Green for 2, tick. Hawkins for 2, no. Geelong to win, no. Giants to win, no. 1 from 4 were there. Just horrifics. We're in some sort of areas. Cursing teams as well. The Dogs have rolled us. We've lost. Sydney have lost to Richmond. Brisbane didn't win a game at home for the first. Like, we are in some serious areas, and I just want to know what we're going to do moving forward.
Well, Are we like, what's that thing in the Herald Sun where you
The kiss of death.
The kiss of death. I reckon there's people might be listening to this going far out. I hope the boys didn't tip us this week because they are absolutely cursed. We're nowhere. So I've been saying that every week. Oh, do we go back to the drawing board? Do we try just pick two teams that we think are going to win, get the $1.60, get that rolling? Was the 12-week challenge, and we've canned it. So
we have canned it, but I feel like we're good enough to get out of the mud with just a special.
There's still more than 12 games to go.
So you reckon is it a reset $1.60?
I think so. I think we do.
Can we go away from the head-to-head? I'm a big prop man.
Go head-to-head.
Just chase $1.60 anyway.
One each. $1.30 thing each.
Yep.
Bang.
All right. Let's do that.
Yep.
I actually like that $1.30 thing each.
That's it.
That's not that hard.
No, it's not.
Simple. And if you lose, which may be a punishment.
Yeah.
We'll work on what that is, depending on what week it is. But I reckon it's got to get to some sort of accountability. If there's an injury, no. But if it's just a full game and nothing happens and it's a proppy,
yep,
there needs to be something on the line.
Yeah, all right. We'll have a think about that and we'll address it next week on the pod.
Could be a donation to a charity. It could be a physical thing. Could make me walk down the street, dress you up in Borats. I don't know. We'll work it out.
At the end of the year, maybe something like that. Because if I pick one loser, it's just I'm not walking down the street.
Well, we need some accountability. The punters aren't happy with us. Anyway, we'll get our best bets up this week and we'll talk about our locks maybe later, maybe after the pod. We'll have a think about it. We'll work it out anyway. Let's jump in. Now, we're going to do our Player Out of Bounds later. We're going to get into some of your listener questions of the week. This one's from Paul Jones. This one's a good one. Can Hibbo please talk us through what he has in the juice cleanse? Wouldn't mind giving it a little crack. Thanks, lad. So, Paulie Jones, shout out to you. And it's a great one from Paul because we talk about the juice cleanse and take the piss, but what are you actually drinking? How long does it go for? Give us an insight to how you feel after it.
For me, it's so I do the 2-day. I did 5-day a couple of years ago. I wouldn't recommend doing that stuff. Way too long. I was getting headaches. I was grumpy. Whereas like the second time I did the 2 days, it was pretty easy. I wasn't even hungry by the end. The third day I was pretty happy to eat. Don't get me wrong, but I'll give the two companies I've used is Karmic Juice Cleanse and Home Juice. They have like a cleanse on their website. It's 8 juices a day, every 2 hours or whatever. From 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You just do it every 2 hours. It's a juice. There's all sorts of good stuff in the juices. There's beetroot, carrot, turmeric, ginger, all like
works.
Yeah, it's all really good for you. There's not many. There's two that are like they're nice juices. You'd have them, but the rest they're veggie juices.
So it doesn't taste as good as what your normal juice would be at a cafe.
It's not your brekkie juice at a cafe.
Right.
It's one or two with a bit of pineapple and watermelon or whatever in there. But
is it a block your nose and drink job?
Nah, you can get through them. They're not massive either. Like it's not like you're drinking half a litre of juice. It's, it might be 250 ml of juice. So Karmic and Home Juice, they're the ones I use. The last one I did was a liver cleanse. You get a bone broth and all that. So at least something warm. Like you're drinking cold juice every day. You think all day?
I'm only skinny and
you're not going to do it. Someone's got a bit of bloat, feeling overweight or whatever.
So it's for a big boy.
I lost 4 kilo in 2 days. Just been eating crap for a couple of days. Do that. Cleanses the soul, cleanses the liver, cleanses the guts.
There you go, Paulie Jones.
There you go, Paul. You got the inside scoop.
And after it, you feel good. You're not lacking energy and whatnot.
Nah.
You're not lacking energy during it. If you're going to footy training and you're 1 day into a juice cleanse, you're struggling.
I wouldn't recommend playing a footy game on it, but
it's the start of the week.
Yeah, I reckon start of the week.
And if you're at work now, like you're not flat, you're fine.
I was fine. I have a couple of black coffees or whatever.
So you can sneak coffee in with the juice?
Only black, no milk or anything, just black coffee on its own, yep.
Yeah. Is that a part of the plan or is that your plan?
That's my plan, yeah.
The missus won't be happy with that. We want to edit that one out. You didn't go through the protocol. Righto, beautiful there, Paulie. Benny, hey lads, thoughts on the Collingwood fan who hugged the Eagles bloke? Have you lads ever had any fucked up fan interactions? Would love to hear if so. Just before we start on that, talking about if we've had any weird interactions, what is your thoughts? Because I've got it down here. Pies member Justin Whitcomb, I think his name is, touching West Coast Eagle rookie Harvey Johnson. We saw it. He just, grabbed him, hugged his face, and then a nice, beautiful handball. Tattoos all over. The great man loves the sticker. And he's a passionate man. He goes to every game, I believe, and he's been given a 12-month ban, essentially 6, because they suspended it, which means he can't watch any footy for the rest of the year. And the Pies are are flying at the moment. So what is your thoughts on it? Because obviously the AFL needs to stamp it out, and they can't allow fans to have this grey area if you can make, you know what I mean? They can review things every week. Or is that just a part of the game, a little bit of something random? Like I remember Hurdy grabbing the fan. One of my favourite moments is Hurdy's goal hugging a fan, right? Which is the opposite of what happened. So what's your take on all this?
I hated it, to be honest. I felt really bad for the guy. Like I feel sick for him. You could tell how much he loves the Pies. It's 12 months. Are you serious? There was no malice in what he did. It was a gentle little hug. I understand, give him a little bit of a clip. Make him learn from it. And they've set the example. They don't want people touching the players, and they've made him the scapegoat. I hated it because there was no malice in it. Like it seemed pretty gentle. And poor supporter who probably uses his hard earned to go watch the boys play, and to cop 6 months. And I think to myself, if this was a 40-year-old mother with her kids and did it and was having a smile and gave him a hug, what do you reckon? Is she getting a month? Is she getting a year? I'm saying no, because he has tats and stuff on his face, and he's a bit of a scary looking unit. Let's be real, but I don't think if it was if it was a bloke in a suit and he did it, I don't reckon he's getting 12 months. I feel real bad for him. So I'm sure he's not listening, but I think it's bullshit, to be honest. Give him 4 games. Hey mate, you can't do that. Whatever. But not the whole season. I love going to the footy. I'm not like a massive fan that buys a membership and all that. And for this bloke to miss a year, he looks forward to going to the footy every year, and to take that away from him not even halfway through the year, just because. He was giving the bloke a hug. If he was, and you hear fans say racial stuff all the time. I don't know what the penalty is for that. You're hearing players say homophobic slurs and they get 3 and 5 weeks, but a little hug over the boundary line, far out. I think it was just an absolute stretch.
I'm with you. I thought you'd review it like you review everything, and there's a lot of tape to review it, and it's a little bit of love. I thought it was a nice little thing that I think I think they've got it wrong, and. He's also had to deal with all the media, here we are, we're talking about, a little podcast, but it's obviously been all over the news and whatnot. And he's addressed how, sincere he is and how he apologises to the young fella and how he didn't mean to do that. He was just obviously probably being, just embracing the game. It was, and he just wanted to handball the footy back and gave him a little hug. Yeah, I reckon you're right with that. I reckon 4 weeks is a good one. I reckon it's a good lesson. It's like, oh, geez, because I think 4 weeks is still stiff, right? But everyone around would still learn the same lessons going, you can't touch players. And everyone would still learn the exact lesson that's been told. You can't touch players, otherwise you get 4 weeks. But to miss the whole season, it's probably like the first one that's happened in a while, and they've just kind of made an example, which is what always happens at the start of something, doesn't it?
You can't tell me if there was a good-looking girl hanging over the boundary and gave him a hug that she's getting a year.
Yeah.
Or even if
Shakira did it,
exactly.
Shakira grabbed
or a middle-aged, good-looking bloke in a suit. Not that our man's not good-looking.
Oh, come on, he's not bad. He's a rough-looking unit, man.
Do you know what I mean? I just don't think he's getting a year. I thought it was a bit of a stretch. But
well,
I won't stay on it for too long.
Anyway, his name's Justin, and Justin, we think you're stiff, mate. We think you're very stiff. So,
and you're a rooster, mate.
I reckon we should try a rank. I mean, Collingwood boys should be rallying around this man, sending him maybe a jersey just to keep his spirits up, because he's going to have to watch it. Maybe they should all chip in a big TV for the great man, because he's going to have to watch from the sidelines for a long time. He might need I wonder if the boys are talking about that.
I'm sure he's got a TV, mate. He was a bit rough. But I'm sure he's sitting over the TV. Jesus.
I'm not talking about a little screen. I'm talking about our monster, mate. I want a little cinema set up at his joint. He needs to upgrade.
He's probably still got the bunny ears running.
He's not running the bunny ears. Come on, man. Far out, Justin. If you listen, I apologise for Hibbo there. Wow. Anyway, let's get back to Benny's question. But have you ever had any weird interactions with fans? And if so, can you remember? Or have you seen one?
I've copped a few sprays from the fans over the band. No, I don't think I've ever been touched or hugged or just a few sprays.
Yeah,
a few love your pigs. Nothing out of the ordinary.
I can't
mate.
think of anything bad. They've always been, it's all love, really.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
unless it's obviously an away game, you're copping the verbal. I'd rather that bloke touch me head and huddle than some of the verbal stuff that comes out of
Yeah.
people's, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that stuff
100%.
stays with you forever. These little hug stuff, and that's 12 months for that. Give the people that are abusing me and telling me some really nasty things, give them 6 months.
I'll tell you one thing I never got playing at Melbourne and Essendon. I didn't get a hug from a Collingwood supporter. I promise you that, mate.
Yeah.
So I was copping it from
Yeah,
the
we
cheer
should be
squad.
rewarding this behaviour. A Collingwood supporter with tattoos all over their face, hugging someone. That's rare. You know what I mean? So, anyway, great question, Benny. Haven't got much for you, though. Lukey Forsyth, I think that's how you say his name, but this one's for you, Pig. Try porky pigging, sleeping with the fan on, nude from the waist down, but with a t-shirt on. Lets your old fella breathe and you get a good night's sleep. So it's the reverse engineered approach to what you do every night. What's your thoughts on?
Well,
The try porky pigging?
First of all, I know who Luke Forsyth is.
Oh, is this your mate?
No, he is. He's a mate of mine and my late
No
brother.
wonder he's your mate because he sounds like a.
So, no,
He's
I'm
running
not
the old
gonna-
fella underneath the aircon, and what a sick unit, man. Honestly.
That's crook. Anyway, we won't even give that air, but nice one, Skin, writing it in.
And our last one.
His nickname's Skin, but Luke Forsyth.
Oh. The skin, that is outstanding. Lukey Skin, that is outstanding. And then Magnus, hey guys, if there was one game that you have been a part of in your career that you would go back and watch, but as a fan, which game would it be? Can you think of one, Pete? Outside of the granny.
Outside of the granny and any of the finals, if it was me, I like watching myself back.
Yeah, probably
I
yourself.
think maybe my first game, we spoke about that last week, but outside of that, my first game at Melbourne, I missed 18 months of footy, and it was Anzac Eve, and played really well, being 18 months out or whatever from a game. Kicked a goal, it was 87, 90,000, Anzac Eve. Probably watched that one over again. So that was
Nice.
We lost from memory, but I played quite well that game. It went all right, so
Love
I'd
it.
probably watch that.
So
What about you?
Did it feel good?
Yeah. Oh, always.
Well, off the back of what you said, I reckon there's two. I haven't watched the prelim where I've had the stinker, the biggest clang of my life, against Hawthorn. I actually played all right from memory, but just that moment. But I haven't watched it back. And I reckon to cleanse the soul one day, I reckon that's required.
Yep.
But I haven't done that. So I think I have to sit back and watch that one at some point because it might actually be a more cleansing.
It went all right.
Yeah, well, it might be like, oh, you just had one moment, it doesn't matter. But
cut it,
or maybe I had I don't know, but I reckon that's one game I need to watch as a fan and maybe just write some notes and just say, mate, you did well here, you did, and weigh it all up and go, move on, But
Just cut it at 5 minutes to go or whenever it was.
I've seen that. I've seen that highlight. I think that's all I can remember is that highlight. So that's one. But on the flip side, I think the game I got a one Brownlow vote. Obviously, had 30 odd and kicked a goal, 31 or something. But I reckon that would be good just because there'd be more screen time. It'd be just great to remind yourself that you used to go all right, just to feel good. So I reckon they'd be the two.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Which kind of leads me into feel good because there's a bit of negativity on the plate last week, Pig. There's this page called Forgotten on Instagram that come across my desk and had plenty of comments and a lot of love, but also a lot of hate and a lot of, little couple of cheeky jabs from some randoms, which I'll get into my KPI. I'll stop that later. But is it play on or out of bounds to be posting your highlights on Instagram? Because look, some people probably think that I'm more serious than I am, and I think I take the piss pretty well, but some people don't really know me that well that follow me, So is it play on or out of bounds to post your own highlights? Just to remind a couple of these negative dogs on the comments that I used to go all right.
Well,
Is that a play on or is it out of
I
bounds?
love it. I did message you straight away. I said, mate, I don't know about this. Is play on or out of bounds?
Oh, I didn't know about it either.
I was like, whoa, what a snag.
Yeah,
Yes.
mate, there's a couple more there, don't worry. I had to cut the highlight real short. I was trimming them,
Bounding on one of them, like a gazelle, just like high leg lift, and then just nice drop pass, out of bounds, mate. But geez, my feed will be filled with all my highlights. If that was
Exactly
the case.
right. I reckon it's play on, but
it's good.
it's
I like
definitely play. It's definitely out of bounds in Australia. But if I was in America, it's
Tall
play
poppy.
on. Yeah, tall poppy.
Tall poppy
And
syndrome.
I don't want to be the first bloke to go forward with.
I don't know if you're going to break the mold with a few Freo highlights that you post.
Yeah, I know. So, but anyway, I just thought I'd let a few of these blokes know that they call them embarrassing. They couldn't remember me playing. Well, mate, have a little look at this little highlight reel I've got.
Looking forward.
I won't tell you that I was the sub and we're playing North Melbourne and I'm coming on fresh. That's all right. No one knows the backstory. All right, just sees a 3-possession goal. That's fine.
Yeah, it was a good goal, mate. So you got a bit of love
I
afterwards.
actually had a group chat where someone was ripping into me once, and I just said, "Sink your teeth into this." It's a 2.5 minute highlight reel. Someone cut it up for me when I got delisted at Freo, and I was, this is not bad. So I started flicking it around, going to my manager, send it to a couple of recruiters if you can. That's why I've got it. When it was from about 6 years ago, and I just thought, I might just clip a couple of these up and put them on the ground for a bit of a laugh.
When late 2017, I'd having a beer with my mates at home, they get stuck into me. I'd just go missing for a minute and just come back nude with my All-Australian jacket on. not saying anything, just sitting in the lounge room with just my jacket on.
That is elite. Did the boys go wild?
They loved it. Mrs. thought I was a tool, but all the boys thought it was funny.
So there you go. Play on or out of bounds doing that. That is the biggest play on of all time, in my opinion. That is outstanding. So what the boys are, so just to set it, let's stay on me for a second.
I'll be in the lounge room. They'd be,
how many blokes? All your best
maybe
mates?
3 or 4 of my mates having a beer or whatever, and we'd just into each other, banter. Oh yeah, and I was Rose just got to go to the toilet. I'd just come back with my jacket on. That's it.
Oh, that is outstanding.
Yeah, that's it.
Old fella.
Keep yapping.
Aircon on, old fella.
Heater on.
Heater's on, but you would probably change it as well a minute out, knowing you. Oh, that's good. Appreciate everyone that wrote in on Spotify. We love it. Keep them coming. There's a few people writing in on social media and whatnot. Please just head to Spotify and comment. There's a few other ones there. We'll get back to them next week. We can only go with a few, but love your work. Righto, Pig, let's get to our RIXX eye-catching moments before we talk a little bit of footy coming up this week. Did you bring your RIXXies again?
I didn't, mate.
Don't worry, we got you sorted with the Soho Greens.
Oh.
I might give these a little bit of a clean. They got a bit of Balinese oil on them from the massages, Pig, on the lenses.
Yeah, massage, you dirty bastard.
Very cheap over there, the old rubs. What have you
mate.
got this week? Obviously, guys, RIXX Eyewear. If you need a pair of sunglasses, heading to Bali, heading out to Europe soon, getting out of Melbourne, or you're just in a beautiful place like Gold Coast, rixeyewear.com.au. Use the discount code ACES and you get 20% off and free express shipping. All right, Pig, what have you got that caught your eye this week?
My RIXX eye-catching moment, mate. As we know, it was Mother's Day on the weekend.
Huge
Sunday,
shout out to
huge
mothers.
shout out, but Collingwood are playing on Mother's Day, and just the boys had all their mothers lined up, carry out the flowers.
How good was that?
Mate, it was unbelievable. Very heartwarming. To see them do that, and it's a special day for the mothers. I'm not sure if I played on Mother's Day, but it would have been so nice if I was able to do that. Give my mum, flowers while she's on the ground, letting them have a perspective of how big, the ground is and what it's like being in the middle. And I thought it was really nice. Collingwood and Fly are real good at doing this kind of, getting the families into games, into the rooms. Just like it seems like a really good family culture and family environment they're building down there and have been for years under Fly. So that was my eye-catching moment. I just thought it was really heartwarming to see the mums out there smiling, having fun, and getting the flowers and getting a bit of a pat on the back. The boys wouldn't be there without their mothers. So that was my eye-catching moment. I loved it. I don't know about you. Did you see it?
I did. I saw it online because obviously it was overseas, and I saw the clip. And mate, you've just summed it up perfectly. I would have dreamt to have been able to do that. It was a very intense pre-game routine when I was playing, and I don't think that would have happened when I was playing. And I just wish that it did, I just would have loved that. I would have loved to be able to bring out a massive bunch of flowers and have mum there, and all the mothers are friends as well.
Yeah.
Like especially there might be 3 or 4 because they might be the same draft class, and it would definitely relax you as a player as well because you get to have a little bit of a smile and give her a kiss and say Happy Mother's Day, and then as you know, footy, once the ball's bounced, you've done that much prep during the week. You don't need to worry about too much what's happening 5-10 minutes before the game. But, shout out to Collingwood Footy Club and Fly or whoever organises. Fly gets a lot of this. Yeah. I wonder if he's got anything to do with it. You know what I mean?
He didn't even know it was happening.
I'm sure he did, but whoever's involved in organising that, clearly he has to approve it. So he is involved, but it's just elite. So, and you know what? You'd be surprised if not everyone's doing it next year, because it's kind of like, you just keep raising the bar. Like, if you're not doing it, you kind of look like an average club now, I reckon, next year, because it's like, why not do it? Everyone's talking
about it. If you're playing on a Sunday, I think you should. I reckon they've set the bar for the teams next year.
Beautiful touch. So, huge shout out to Collingwood. We'll have to change it up a bit here. It's a very lovely, little RIXX eye-catching moment. Mine's a little bit the other way around. I had Luka Doncic had a little bit of a press conference. I don't know if you've seen this one. And
I think I have.
He's sitting there and he's exhausted after a hard-earned game. I think it might have been game 3. I think they got the win, and a reporter, was about to ask him a question, and then all of a sudden it was Johnny Sins and Lisa Ann out the back or something. It was a lot of moaning going on, mate. It was like someone's little casting couch operation. I don't know if you've seen it. It was a full blown moaning action for about 10 seconds, and Luca looks up like, "Are you serious?" There's some two going at it out the back. So I don't know. I couldn't believe it. I mean, an NBA press conference at Game 3 of the finals, and you've got someone shagging out the back. It caught my eye. It caught my attention. Have you seen it?
Oh, I haven't seen it. And I'll tell you who was more surprised than anyone, Luka Doncic's face. He was like, "Oh my God, what is going on?" And it's, I don't know, you can't really tell when you're watching on the screen, but he must have thought it was happening behind him. Like, come on, boys, keep it down. But it must have been the old phone, He's opened up the Safari or whatever, and he's up to no good before he went, what's he doing at halftime of that basketball game? But yeah, so...
Anyway, so everyone's got to be thinking the same as we were thinking. You're spot on. Do you think it was definitely it was a device job? It wasn't people at the back?
Initially, I thought it was someone out the back, but it makes a bit more sense. It was someone on the phone.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The Safari job from the night before. Yeah. A little bit of a...
It'll get some people.
It gets the best,
I've seen it happen. So it's...
Have you seen it to others? Or?
Others, mate.
Of course. Well, there you go. That's our RIXX eye-catching moments. Like I said, head to rixeyewear.com.au. Use discount code ACES at checkout and you'll get 20% off and free express shipping. 20% off is 1/5. It's a fair chunk when they're $200. It's a good little discount. So take full advantage of it. Let's talk some footy, mate. You get the Soho Greens there, Danny Green. Righto, let's talk some footy this week, some blockbuster games. And before we start, a huge shout out to our man Dunks. He's 150th this week. He's a part of the Ausmerican Aces Sports Club, and we just wanted to say congratulations, mate, 150. A great 150. Obviously got the premiership. He's been at finals a lot, and a pivotal member of that Brisbane Lions team. And the boys will be getting it up, and if there's a team to get it done against, I think he's got the Tigers. Our man Dion Presti will be going head-to-head with him, but the Tigers are coming off, 91 points? So you'd think for a milestone game, you'd be licking your lips if you got the Tigers at the moment. Adsy Treloar's goal of the year, we skipped over it earlier, but it just reminded me of Ads and Dunks and their podcast. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. The boys every week. What a sausage that was. I saw that online. I'm like, well, he's just kicked a 40-metre snap on the boundary line off a tap from Timmy English. He doesn't get enough credit. I know people probably think I'm just pumping him up because we do a fair bit together, but he had 41 and a goal. He's had 30 every week I've watched. I think he kicks a goal nearly every week he watches. Bontempelli plays there. Every time I turn the TV, it's always about Bont. But Adsy goes under the radar every week. I don't know why, because he accumulates the ball. He's so clean. It's amazing how good he is at football.
Well, especially, last few years been a bit injury riddled. He hasn't had a good. He's in some cracking form. Nearly career best. If they're winning more games, he'd be spoke about a lot more. But he'd be leading that best and fairest at the moment. He's getting 30 every week, 30 plus. Playing some cracking footy, and he's been a star for ages. But he kept doing hammies or calves.
Yeah, he had those bad hammies there early on. But yeah, you're right. Every time he plays, though, it's a consistent performance.
Yeah, and then they were playing him at half forward for a bit. He's a mid. He's just get him in the war room and just let him go to work. He's so powerful and quick when obviously his body's up to it. So he's playing some cracking footy. But we'll get into it. So Thursday night, up at TIO Stadium, which is in Darwin, against Geelong, the Suns versus Geelong. Suns play there a bit. We used to play them up there. And they play quite well. It's slippery. It's sweaty.
They do play well up there, actually.
Yeah, so
and Geelong's coming off a loss, though.
Geelong's coming off a loss.
Jesse Cameron's out.
Hawkins is out. I think they've already rested him. So
because the tools, you don't really need tools. It'd be you've played there a bit. I remember I used to play in Melbourne when I was at Freo. We'd always play in Darwin.
We played Freo. We used to play Freo.
It's wet weather footy.
I think I'm just based off how they structure up, the way they play. They're safe behind the ball. Geelong, they're smart. There's a lot of veterans in that team. I'm going to go Geelong, but this is Thursday night. It's going to be a good game to watch. What about you?
I think this is the game this is the game the Suns need to win. And I think they might have beat the D's last year up there, maybe. I remember
a couple of years ago they beat us.
I reckon they went back to back, and I reckon they set themselves like this is like that. You remember the D's went to Adelaide a couple, for the back-to-back weeks. So went Adelaide then Port. Remember that? And they come home and they lost the next week because they put so much effort into the campaign. I reckon this is something like that for the Suns. I reckon there's this. I'm going to go with the Suns, and it goes against my brain. Like Geelong are the better team, but when you take out Jezza and Hawkins, and you add the wet weather football, and the midfield is the reason why Geelong got smacked last week, and you look at Gold Coast Suns midfield, and the way Rao's built, Tuke Miller, Anderson, you got Witts, you know what I mean? They're built for this. So I'm just going to, it's a 50-50, it's at home, I'm going to go with the Suns because I'm behind on the tipping, but I actually think they can win this game.
The only, hearing what you're saying.
It will be a good game. It's actually it's going to be a cracker.
The only thing is, like, Geelong have lost to Port. We've been talking about Port being top 4 team before the year, during the year, and then they got beat by the D's. So, they haven't been.
Jeremy Cameron out's a different side.
Yeah,
and Hawkins is a different structure.
But anyway, it'll be a good one to watch. We'll move on. Friday night at the SCG. Apparently a sellout this already. Apparently it's sold out. Sydney versus the Blues.
I watched this game last year. I actually went to the game.
Is match of the round. First Sydney first. Carlton are going well. Had a good win against the D's. This is going to be a cracker. I think, obviously, it's at home. I'm going to go Sydney. I'm big on them. Brodie Grundy's career nearly, he's been a 2-time All-Australian, but he's probably All-Australian ruckman along with Gorney, but that Pitney is going all right as well. I think he's got a thumb or a finger that hopefully he can get up. This will be a battle in the midfield, but up there Friday night, Sydney for me.
See, I disagree with you here, and I tell you why. I have this memory when I was a young fella when I did my tipping, and they reckon teams that travel back from the West always struggle the next week. That's the first one. The second one is I watched this game last year, and Mackay was kicking left, right, and nowhere near the sticks. This year, straight as an arrow, and I reckon that's why they lost, because of accuracy last year. They match up really well. I'm concerned about the Sydney Swans defenders, how they're not tall enough, right? I reckon that's the concern I've got in their side. And everything else, they are unbelievable. Now, McCartan, I think he might come, actually, I don't know, he might not even be back yet. If he's not playing and you got Kerno and Mackay, and you got Cripps, Walsh in the middle there, and they've got a fair, I think Cherry might be out, but they've got a fair few that can come in, and then they're pretty well set up behind the ball. I reckon Carlton match up well here, so I'm going to tip the Blues.
Yep, like it. Well, as you said, the big power forward, it's going to be a nightmare for anyone.
And they pump it in there enough. It's not a massive deck, so yeah, I reckon the Blues get it done. I reckon there'd be good value as well, Pig. I wouldn't be putting it forward for our best because you disagree, but they wouldn't be favourites, the Blues, would they? They'd be. Sydney are $1.49.
What's
Carlton?
$2.64.
Oh, I reckon that's your best value for the weekend. Even just take the line.
Won't be in our locks, I promise you that, because I'm back in Sydney in. All right, we'll just go through a couple. Go through
all of them.
We might talk about this one, and I reckon that'll be us because there's not many. Actually, no, we'll just go through this one. Collingwood versus Adelaide. MCG. Saturday Arvo, 145. Adelaide are going well.
So is
Collingwood. So Adelaide's forward line is just packed full of pressure. They've stepped it up the last few weeks. They're playing good footy. This is a danger game. I'm going to go the Pies at home. They're building. I think they're going to be comfortably, if not pushing for top 4, but they'll make finals for sure. And Adelaide are just trying to get in the 8.
Yeah, gee whiz, it's tough. I'd need to look at is Brody Mahajek and Degoe, are they back yet?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, I have to look for the teams as we record this podcast to remind everyone it's Wednesday, so teams come out Thursday. But if those two are in, I'd go Pies.
Yep.
If they're not, like, especially Brody, if he's not playing, again, so this is a great week to do what's probably not appropriate and maybe go the other way because they're desperate, Adelaide, and they've been very consistent. But mate, Collingwood last week, I thought that West Coast would be a little bit closer. But, man, they blew them out of the park. So when they get going, the Pies, their system just stands up.
Yep.
So I'll be going the Pies at this point.
What's that Saligo? He's dominating.
Because he's not, and he is. He's the most improved, one of the most improved players of the comp. But you got Dawson, you got Laird, and they all kind of forget about him a little bit. And he's he's a bit like Butters and Rosie. They always started in the forward line, and they're quick and real skillful. He's come on ball, and he's like, I'm not a forward, I'm a mid. He's been unreal. He has 25 every week, and he can kick goals because he used to be a forward. So he's been elite.
All right, just your tips now. GWS versus the Dogs at GWS.
Hey, big game, that rivalry game.
Yeah.
That'll actually, mate, that you should have been. That's a blockbuster in terms of both teams are expected to win that, and Giants aren't in the best form. Their form from the start of the year to now.
Toby to step up. They've been talking about how he's not in form. I think he still kicked two on the weekend.
If there's a game for the big fella to step up, they hate the Dogs. This is a rivalry that goes back to that 2016, I think it was, prelim, where the Doggies went on to win a flag. Ever since then, it's been not a lot of love. So if there's a time to step up, the big fella be setting himself for this one.
And going off history, just from this year, the Dogs play well, then they play like shit. They play well, they play like shit.
Where's this game at?
This is in Sydney.
So it's the first game back in Sydney.
Stadium.
See, they haven't been there. They haven't been there for a while because of the Sydney show. So they've been going to Canberra, and then they've been going to away. So they've been on the road for about 6 weeks, I reckon.
All right, I'm going Giants. So Saturday, the Saints versus Freo. We'll just go through this one. But who do you tip here? The odds are pretty similar. Saints were disappointing last week, so I'm going to go Freo. I'm going to get them to bounce back after a tough week last week.
Yeah, Freo, and obviously I touched on it at the start, but with all the sad news that happened last week, and it's obviously still sad, and it's going to be tough to get over for a lot of people. I'm very strong on the fact that they're going to be a completely different side last week. They played Sydney. Sydney's one of the best teams in the comp, and the boys just weren't. I don't think they were there last week, and I wouldn't have been there either. So they reset. They come over. They come over to play St Kilda. Ross used to coach Freo, so he would know a lot of their players, but I'd imagine Fremantle would know how his style works. And the Saints are out of form a little bit, so they're going to, they're going to stand up for Cam. No doubt they'll put their best foot forward and they'll get the job done this week. So I'm looking forward to watching Fremantle bounce back.
It was heartbreaking watching the boys before, and how hard that would have been. You nearly give them a mulligan for just like how heartbreaking it would have been to think you're going to play another. The game be cancelled and postponed, and the thing is, it's booked in. There's tickets. It's just a terrible thing that happened, right? Yeah. And they had to. I thought the way Fremantle, what Fremantle did, I thought they were amazing. In terms of as poor as the circumstances were. The way Moose, Alex Pearce, who don't know him, is his nickname, and Fifey walked up at the end of the game and they put the flowers in the goal square and, the tribute at the start. And, I just thought it was, nice touch from Fremantle in what was just horrific circumstances. So, the boys were nowhere last week and you're right, mulligan all day of the week. So this week you'll see the best defence which Freo has and, they score off turnover and, Ross's game plan is clearly lock it down, but they're not in the best form at the moment. So Fremantle should win this game. Yep. Well said, mate. Brisbane versus Richmond. We're going to both tip Brisbane. We won't.
Yeah, well, this is Dunks' 150th. So,
well done, Dunks. Congrats again, mate.
So big pump up to Dunks. And the boys need to get it done. They're coming off a draw, which is a loss, really, isn't it? You review it. Got to get that draw going. Do you reckon if there's one more draw, the AFL looks at it?
Another draw?
Do you reckon if there's one more draw next week, they go, let's have a look at it?
Maybe. I hope so.
That'd be great.
Good for all. Essendon versus North. We're going to pick Essendon. They're flying at the moment. North and nowhere. We talk about every week. Port versus Hawks. Hawks were pretty good last week, but I'm tipping the Port. What about you?
Yeah. Port. Is this in Adelaide?
It's in Adelaide.
Yeah, I'll stick with my home teams.
And then West Coast versus Melbourne or Naarm this week at Optus Stadium. The boys love going over to Perth.
It brings back a lot of, like, that's a question for you. Does it bring a lot of great memories playing at Optus, especially against Freo and like the boys just can't wait because you don't get to travel that much as a Melbourne side, do you?
We always and you look at the stats. Melbourne travel well. We love it. We get away. You get 2 nights away, and you sleep in the hotel. You get to sleep in. You get the grub. You get the heap of
everything.
You get the Bay Marie, and it's just good to get away. And you spend a bit more time with your teammates. Get to know each other a little bit better. Just being on the plane and being in the hotel.
Just play card games and all that as well.
Yeah, do everything, mate. So I'm tipping Melbourne to win quite comfortably over there.
Likewise.
Right,
and Elliot Yeo's, he just shows you how much of a difference when he doesn't play. They look like a different side. He's airborne this year, Yoey. And, you step a couple of these keep. I think McGovern got injured as well, so I'm not sure if he'll play this week. But, yeah, Melbourne should finish the weekend off. All right. Well, it's we're going to go. It's a bit of stop that to both of us, but it's go time again. We keep saying this. But you know what? It's time for some accountability. Enough's enough. You've let us down too many times. I've let us down too many times. Okay. Let me finish. Enough's enough. So I think there needs to be a punishment moving forward. And you know what? For our head-to-heads or our props or whatever we're going to do for our 12-week challenge, let's just go $1.30 each. You can find your $1.30. I'll find mine.
Yep.
We'll combine it. And if your $1.30 doesn't get up, you get punished.
Yes.
And I've got some punishments in mind, and I'm sure you do as well. But the first thing I'll say is we're going to open it up to the floor. So, Aces, if you're listening, I know we asked for questions of the week, but put in your punishments as well.
Just on that, something simple we can do here.
Okay, so give them an example of what you're thinking.
It could be drink half a litre of celery juice. Or
that's fucking grim.
It's putrid, that stuff. Or maybe even have to drink a cup of 2 eggs or something like that. Raw eggs. Jesus, Pig, you're giving us some. Well, there you go. I was thinking you got something along those lines. I was saying, it's a skull of beer. I'll do it for free.
Yeah, but first thing in the morning, 6 a.m. It's pretty grim to start your day like that. You feel like a sack of shit.
We'll pick the best one. Obviously, if someone puts the raw eggs, we're not picking it. But,
I might. If you let us down, I'll be. You know what? If you lose, I'm picking the punishment. Anyway, you're getting our point. If there's a punishment you've got and you think it's very valid and it's fair enough, like it's not. I'm not doing something ridiculous for missing
not
$1.
Walking down Punt Road nude or anything.
Exactly. Like we're not far off that, but give us your best punishments, and we're going to make sure there's punishments if we don't get up, so that way we can hold ourselves accountable because. At the moment, we're nowhere. And I know for a fact that when there's a bit more on the line, like I'm talking with a bit of punishment as well as our hard-earned, this is how we get success. It's like the 1-year contracts, Pig. We've all got players that play better on 1-year contracts. Jakey Stringer's one of the guys everyone's talking about. They play better on one. So we're on a 1-week contract, okay?
Love it.
Now, let's get to it. I've got mine. You can have, I don't even know what you're going to say, but I don't even care anymore because you know what? If it loses, happy days. You're carrying on like a pork chop doing a punishment the Aces have written in on Spotify. What is your lock this week that's going to combine with mine? It'll no doubt it'll be head-to-head, something stupid.
Because you hate the head-to-heads.
Hate them.
And I don't like the props. So now I can go to my head-to-heads. You can go to the props. And I'm going Melbourne. They're beating West Coast. Port, they just beat Geelong at the Cattery. They're winning at home against Hawthorn. So that's $1.34. So there you go. I've got a little bit of juice on there for us too, mate.
That's not bad. A little bit of 4 cents.
You can do whatever you want, mate. You pick your prop. Bet you're going to pick 2 goals by Toby Green or Charlie Kerner.
You just said him, actually. There you go.
There you go.
Well, you got to. I'm investing in one of was he a 3-time Coleman medalist? I'm saying that Charlie will kick 2 goals against Sydney this week, $1.40. A little bit more juice for Piggy, especially when the 12-week challenge gets to week 11. You'll be thanking me when you get an extra 1,000, all right? So I'm going to put my hard-earned and my plums on the line that Charlie will kick 2 goals against the Swans.
Yeah, love it. So
and that will combine to about $1.80, I reckon, according to my maths. So there you go. Charlie, get it done, mate. I don't want to be getting punished after week 1 and Port and D's for you. And that's week 1. We've got 12-week challenge reset, but it's just a bit more enjoyable for you guys watching and listening. Yeah, there's a bit more on the line now, and Yeah, $100 to start it off and rolling it over.
94 with a bit of boost. So
a little boost activity from you. Well, there you go. It's a good start to the week.
There we go.
Normally you're out of boost in the afternoon.
Usually I'm like, oh, he's cost us another. He's made us lose again. But now I kind of want you to lose.
Yes,
it's adding a bit of spice to the
exactly
pod
right.
next week.
It's actually good. If Hawthorn get poured over, you'd be livid. So at least mine, but actually, just on that, if Charlie gets injured,
mate,
it's a problem.
You don't get your money back here. No. We lose our money.
What if we do get a void?
This is the thing. If someone gets injured in a head-to-head, the other 21 soldiers can cover it, bring him out of it.
If there's a void operator on the bet and you get the money back, I'm not getting punished. Well, we can talk about it. But anyway, you run the risk with a prop, I guess, don't you?
You want to kick too early.
Well, there you go. So, I'm looking forward to it. There's a bit more on the line, like you said. This is enjoyable. By the way, our best bets will be up. I apologise. That was my fault and wrongdoing, but we had a spell and we probably saved you. So we get them going this week. Righto, well, let's get into our KPI construction. Stop that because we've both got one and we're both combining on one. We've got a little collaboration right here. KPI Construction collab right here. Do we have a stop that? I guess I'll start it off. As I said to you last week, you went on an Instagram page. It might even be a stop that to the forgotten page, but it's actually pretty funny. So, it's all go, boys. I love your work. The forgotten page, put me up on not just on the side, on the carousel slide. It was the cover.
You were the cover.
And it was a horrific photo. My hair looked like I'd been electrocuted almost.
Looked all right compared to what I'm looking at now.
Hey, mate, the bloke in my old mate from Jane Drew Barbershop, he went bang, a little fade 0.1.
I need a trim.
Anyway, and my stop that is to these negative trolls, these muppets in the comments that just think it's acceptable to just write negative comments that make you feel no good, and you read them and you go, well, stop that. Who wakes up in the morning? Now, don't get me wrong, we're all human. We've all got negative thoughts sometimes and we think, geez, this guy annoys me or whatever, but who goes on social media and in the comments writes something and just to make themselves feel good? Piggy, I just got a huge stop that, but what are people thinking?
I'll grab that off you, mate. Yeah, this is a good one. It needs to be spoke about because the KPI construction stop that is to the keyboard warriors, to the people out there texting on the Instagrams, the posts, the Twitter. What do you get out of it? Honestly, and the impact that it would have on young people's lives, I'm sure. And you're a thick-skinned individual, I'm sure, but it irks you. And I just don't understand what these people get out of. It's bullying, online bullying. I'm sure it happens at schools and it happens in the AFL sphere, with the supporters. And I know as a player you cop it. I was fortunate I didn't really cop it, but I know players that did. But you put a brave face on, you're smiling, but it does impact people. And I just think you must be so insecure to sit here and comment and try to bring someone else down because you're feeling average. So
do you even feel better writing it? Like I was just thinking, say like me and you were to do it right now, which we're not going to do, and you type it. There's no way knowing that you actually feel better about yourself. And then I just come across me desk. I thought, I reckon that's a great stop. That just to remind these dogs that are writing in the comments. So it's come on.
It's I don't know what goes through their head, right? So. For me, if I put someone online, and I feel bad if I made someone feel bad, but that's just me. Some people aren't like that, but some people feel like they're entitled enough to voice their opinion about someone. When I did this when I was young, and I don't know who told me to think like this, but if I had a bad game and I was worried that someone was potting me, I thought, well, they can't do my job as well as I do my job. So who are they to comment? And I shouldn't be worried about what they think. I should only care about the people close to me, my peers, my family, my friends. They're the opinions that matter most to me. So to any of the keyboard warriors, it was water off a duck's back, and it was something that stuck with me. And fortunately enough, I was able to have a thick enough skin. But at the same time, not everyone's like that. A lot of people were impacted by it. So stop that. Cut it out. I'm glad you brought it up because especially now these days, I've got young kids. I hope that it's not a thing in years to come. So it's shit. And some people out there, they get a real kick out of it, and they're not people I'd want to hang around with, Tom.
Nah, they're not. And then we'll flip it as well. I go back to that page. There was so many funny, loving comments and funny comments. You know, have you got the choice? It's an all-go operation. If you put something online, especially the social media age that we're in, and you comment, and I reckon you just want to be commenting funny or positive, or you're just tagging your mate saying, check this out. It's all go on that stuff, because I reckon that brings the house down when you get a grouse comment, you know, just a real sly. No, but even just people that are real dry humour that write something, it's like, it's funny. But then there's these people that, like you saw, I mean, the train just, you know, I can handle it. I don't give a fuck. You know, I know exactly, you're proud of yourself. You've done this and that. You got old mate, I think I gave him a little bit of a pot and just said, remind yourself, son, you know, lighthearted stuff. But then I broke it down. I was like, I felt bad even doing that. I was like, well, maybe that was a bit too far. But I was just thinking, actually, who would actually sit there and write this stuff just to make it? Didn't even tag anyone. Some of these people, just a little sly comment. I go, they're sick individuals.
Yeah, stop that. And as you said, a bit more positivity. We're positive guys. You know, we're always trying to find. We're a glass half full. We're never glass half empty. And there needs to be more people out there like us, mate. And you know what? Most people. This is a minority, and the minority need to be stamped out. So
anyway, so that was
said.
There you go. That's our KPI Construction. Stop that. We love our boys down at KPI. I haven't heard
broke the hat.
Haven't heard much about the KPI. Boys getting a little bit of love, feel toot horns and whatnot from our Aces fam just yet. But we do have a little bit of a KPI Construction. Tommy Talks coming out next week. Dane Swan will be on. He actually works at KPI.
Yes, he's big
and the head honcho at KPI will feature as well and talk about the construction industry and just how Swanee helps him out getting a few deals done. So stay tuned for that one. That's a little sneak preview. But Pig, I've loved this, mate. I've really enjoyed seeing you again. I've just got back from Bali and couldn't wait to see you. I wrote notes all week and couldn't wait to get on top of this 12-week challenge. And I am so excited to watch Port play Hawthorn and the D's to play, because I've only got one watch. I've got Charlie, and once that's a tick, which it will be, it'll be a big, juicy, fat green tick, and I'll just get to sit back all weekend and watch people comment on Spotify your punishments if you don't get up. And you know what the best part is? If it gets up, we're up here and we're hugging. It's a team.
What happens if they both don't get up?
Oh, that could be it. Now that again, people, I want to put it to the Aces. I'm in. Yeah,
the accountability, mate. Accountability.
So, look,
I love it. Like, we're going for an hour and a bit again.
Yeah, well,
but we just keep talking.
We can't get an under. We're trying.
To people listening, we're like, mate, we'll keep it to 45 this week. But we just keep going.
I love you, mate. I haven't seen enough of you, so that's why.
Let's wrap it up.
But thanks, guys. Subscribe, like, send it to your friends, and like I said, jump into the Spotify for punishment. I bet you we get a record people writing in this week because they can't wait to see us get punished. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Have a great weekend, and hopefully our 12-week challenge resets with 1 week down. See you guys. This episode is proudly sponsored by KPI Construction Services. When it comes to construction sites, reliability and efficiency are key. That's where KPI Construction Services shines. With a single call, KPI provides a range of essential services, which includes labour hire, crane hire, and traffic control. KPI is a progressive business with modern plant and equipment across all of their operating states. Focusing on innovation and to avoid the business drifting is always front of mind. We are proud to be aligned with and have such a reputable company partnering with the show. Aces, I know I always go on about the RIXXs, but I got huge news. We have all our styles and colours restocked on the website right now. Get online, grab some sunglasses at rixxeyewear.com.au right now and use our little discount code ACES if you want a 20% discount code on the house.